Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Grassroots Racer. Today is an awesome episode. So before we get into anything, I just wanted to say happy birthday to Dad for yesterday. Honestly, you're the best dad I could ever ask for. Always been there supporting my racing. Really appreciate it. And I hope you had a great day. Also, over the weekend that just passed, we saw I was at Winton testing the RXA, and she's such a lovely car to drive. I had a comment asking about it, and look, it's an awesome car to drive, and yeah, we're jumping out of the V's now, so this is going to be an exciting chapter for my racing. And the cars are awesome. And before we get into our guest, we had International Women's Day last week, and we actually filmed this before that. So, it's kind of good timing that this came out. I didn't even know this until sort of today. So, it's good timing. And look, Imogen, she's an awesome driver. She's doing a fair bit in motorsport at the moment. As you see, she's racing Formula Ford. She's been a part of the Girls on Track program. She's done so much in her short career. So, big welcome to Imogen. So, firstly, Imogen, where did you get your passion for motorsport, and where did it all begin?
So it all began when I was riding motorbikes at home. We got our first motorbike when I was around, I think, 5. My sister was 3, so we shared a little Pee-wee 50 Suzuki, and Dad customized it to be Radburn number 1. And then we were just riding around for years, and I wanted to race motorbikes, and Mum kept saying no. She was adamant that I wasn't racing motorbikes. Instead, I was dancing for 12 years, and I wanted to be an Olympian swimmer. And then I got told that my shoulders wouldn't be able to stand if I kept training the amount of training sessions I was doing. I was swimming 2 to 3 times a week for about 2 hours, doing 5 kilometers sessions. So it was a lot when I was about 10 to 14, 10 to 15 was when I was doing really hardcore swimming. But took Mum and Dad 4 years to finally give in and get me a go-kart, which Dad surprised me, and my sister was driving it down the driveway when I just broke down into tears because it was finally something that I felt I could actually enjoy myself in. I didn't love dancing, but went on a cruise and competed and was in the competition team. So I'd always had I guess you could say a passion for competition and competing. And then it all went from there, and then my engine blew up at my first race, so in Dubbo. So I had no clue. We didn't know what to do. We were about to pack up and go home, and then I met a local engine builder from Canberra, and he sort of pushed me through for the first 3 months to 6 months, and then I got picked up by DR Karts Australia, and then they've asked me to do some stuff for AKC, which is the Australian Kart Championship, with some of their drivers doing mechanical and data analysis, which I'm looking at doing this year. And then Cameron Hill picked me up the day after AKC state titles, where I got taken out sadly from pre-final going absolute hell, and then finally final I was in first with I think 4 laps to go, and I got taken out. So I was pretty heartbroken. I was going back to back for that state title again to make it 3 state titles instead of just 2. But obviously it wasn't meant to be. And then, yeah, I got picked up by Cam, and here we are now racing Formula Ford.
So you've had a bit of an eventful lead up to Formula Ford, and do you still enjoy swimming even though you can't do it anymore because competitively, I should say?
Yeah, definitely. I'm always doing all swimming, like it's one of my main training things. I do a bit of swim teaching, I guess you could say, on my side little gig, which I just love being around kids and helping them learn such, I guess, needed skill that you need in life. Not a lot of people know how to swim, which is pretty heartbreaking these days, but I definitely love my swimming still. And obviously, if it was a different lifetime, I'd probably try and be an Olympian at the same time, but you got to pick your category, and I chose motorsport over. So I find swimming is an awesome training method for in the car, because it's not only working your shoulders but your whole body at the same time, and needing those fundamental muscles that we use in the car.
Yeah, so my parents were also a big believer in making sure that I could learn to swim from a young age if I was ever in a scenario where I got caught up. So I do believe it's a very valuable technique for especially young children to know if they get caught in the tide or something, how to get out of it. obviously it's hard to control when you're very little, but
Yeah,
it's I still
100%.
it's very fundamental. So it's good to sort of train that, and I'm still a bit mad that I stopped swimming, so I'd like to go back to it one day.
Yeah, 100%. Sadly, my coach, she shut up shop due to some personal reasons that happened, and yeah, I haven't been I haven't been back since, but do a bit of training on the side for racing, obviously. Instead, if I need to break off the gym or muscles need a big stretch out, it's a good way to do it whilst also exercising.
Yeah, that's it's still good obviously to train for motorsports because some people don't believe it, but it's a tough sport and it's not easy. So obviously moving on to your racing once again, you did a bit of karting and now we see you racing in Formula Ford. So when did the transition happen? Did you do a test day or something similar? And how'd you go for the first time?
So I did karting for just over 2 years. So I haven't done for long. I haven't been in motorsport for long at all. Just over nearly 5 years. I think it's just over 4 years. Haven't been in it for long. I've been pretty late to the category of motorsport, but it's definitely something I would never go back on. So how I got into Formula Ford was obviously from the Canberra race. It all went wrong, and Cam just happened to be there, and he was on the hunt for a new driver. And he just rang Dad and said, "Look, I want your daughter to come and race for me." And I didn't know what Formula Ford was. I always wanted to do just Aussie cars or Toyota 86s. I didn't look above that. I always thought supercars was a dream, but I didn't know how to get there. So I always just thought, oh, Aussie cars would be fun. And then, yeah, Cam said, come race from the Ford. I didn't even know who Cam Hill was. I'd seen his name at the Porsche Carrera Cup races when we were in the Gold Coast, but I'd never actually met him or got to know him, let alone know of him. And then I said to Dad, look, I'm not really keen on it. Formula cars aren't for me. Like, I don't want to be in a Formula car. I'd rather be in a tin top. It's just what I've grown up around. Little did I know on a test day that I did at Wakefield Park. It was sort of just at the end of COVID because we were down camping. So we were camping down on the river where I live on the south coast. And then I went to a test day and absolutely fell in love. And I said to Mum and Dad, yeah, I want to do it. You know what? Stuff it. I'll just do it and give it a go and we can see where we went from there. And then did another test day and I said, no, I want to do this. We're going to go all in. And then it's just sort of taken off and yeah.
That's it's pretty awesome when you step into a Formula car for the first time because they've got a lot of grip. So the power to weight ratio is very even and they're lots of fun. So how'd you find manual? Was it your first time driving manual or how'd you go heel and towing?
So we don't heel and toe in the Formula Fords. I left foot brake. We just don't have to because we don't use the clutch in the Formula Fords. It's just how we've been taught from Cam. So it's one of the gearboxes, like a dog box, I guess you could say. I didn't find it too hard. I've grown up around trucks, dad owning a massive transport company. So I've learned how to drive the trucks. I've grown up since I think we were 3, we were driving on dad's lap at the farm that we went motorbike riding at. We've always learned how to drive manual. So I didn't find it too hard. And then obviously the trucks as well, being a dog box that you don't use the clutch to change gears, I found it a lot easier. Doesn't mean that I don't grind the gears still, because I definitely do from the bill I get, but I didn't find it too tricky. It wasn't like I was just learning how to drive a manual, so that was lucky.
That's good. So growing up on the farm's given you a good understanding. And obviously I think again it's an important skill that people should actually learn no matter if you're racing or not, is how to drive manual. Because if you're ever in a situation where your friend's in need and they've got a manual car and you don't know how to drive it, you're in a pretty bad situation. So I think it's one of them things everyone should know, but obviously it's different for everyone.
100%, especially when you've only got an auto license, and you can't drive a manual. Like something happens, you can't drive. So
Yeah. And what did you like about the Formula Ford? Obviously, you fell in love straight away with it. What things sort of attracted you to it?
I guess you could say obviously the speed. But I don't know how to put it. I just felt like not comfortable in the car. Like I didn't know what the car was doing. Like they danced around a lot. Um, is how we put it, which I enjoyed, like the challenge of trying to keep the car together. But yeah, I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
I
no,
think it was
that's all
just
right.
being in a race car, I guess.
Yeah, obviously, once the adrenaline hits and whatever, you get quite dragged into it. So, have you got any favourite tracks that you've driven on? Because you've got a few in New South Wales. You've tested at Wakefield. Have you done any around Sydney? Have you been to Bathurst, Sandown? Where have you been?
I've been to a lot of tracks now, doing the national championship. So we've been to Phillip Island, Sandown, The Bend, Sydney, Wakefield, Morgan Park. Where else have we been? A lot of places. And then I've also driven Bathurst in an XL. I did last year at Trans Bathurst to get some laps under me. And I loved Bathurst. It was the coolest track ever. I haven't driven it in the Formula Ford. We're going there on Easter long weekend, so I'll know that then whether it's my favourite in a Formula Ford. But I think for a Formula Ford, Winton or Phillip Islands, my two key tracks that I love going to. I find the Bend a bit tricky because it feels never ending, which a
Yeah,
lot of people love, but I do love the short, tight tracks that require a lot of skill and technique. Then I love Phillip Island, just driving around, you can literally look out at the ocean, which is really cool. So I think they're my two favourite tracks that I've been to so far.
yeah. I think it's a bit of a different experience for everyone, but I remember the first time I went to Phillip Island, I said, "Oh, everyone talks about the say in the ocean, you can't really." And then as you come through turn two, it really hits you in the face on the right hand side.
100%. You think it's the sky, but it's actually the ocean.
So yeah, Phillip Island is definitely one of the ones up there that I love personally too. But look, what did you sort of think about this? Because it's one of the tracks which I plan to go to one day. And look, how did you sort of find it? Are the walls closer than what you ever thought, or?
I was pretty lucky. One of the other tracks I raced at in an Aussie car was Adelaide 500, so the straight track. Um, that was a lot closer walls than Bathurst. Obviously, a straight circuit, it's chaos. I called it a concrete jungle, and I didn't have brakes that whole round, so it was like traumatizing. But it made me so much more. I felt like I had so much more confidence in myself that I could actually pull this car up without brakes, which I found better for myself for Bathurst because I was used to the walls. I was used to driving close. Obviously, in XL, they're not going that fast around Bathurst. I think it tapped out at 188, nowhere near as quick as Formula Fords, but in a little XL it was quick. But I think the walls were close. It was more the steepness, and the camber that the track had. Like it gave you a big wake up call that first lap. I sort of said to Dad, "Am I really driving around here? Like it feels like I'm driving up Kangaroo Valley Mountain. It doesn't feel like Bathurst." But yeah, I think the steepness more shocked me more than the walls around me. But I think that's just from driving at Adelaide, having walls so close, you just sort of get used to it when you have to go to a track with walls.
No, that's fair enough. Obviously, look, when you've driven a fair bit, you've obviously gained a lot of experience, and you also did the Girls on Track program. So, can you tell us a little bit what that experience was like?
I think Girls on Track program's an awesome program to be a part of. Obviously, sadly, you boys don't get to experience it. But the people running it, like Priyanka and the Girls on Track champions, they're awesome. They give you all the networks that you need. Everyone's able to get comfortable and actually have a conversation. No one's too shy. I was lucky enough to attend the F1 Girls on Track program, which was just a whole nother lifetime. It feels like it was an absolute dream. we got to go and experience being in the F1 garages. Some of the girls got to change the F1 wheels. We all got to hold the steering wheel. People's dream that you can't pay for, basically. Like, we're in the driver's lounge area, so we could see Lewis and Max and everyone up close. Like, there wasn't a gate in between us. We got to really experience what they go through, like the amount of paparazzi trying to get in, people trying to jump gates. Like, it was an awesome experience, and I'd highly recommend anyone that's a female that's not just wanting to be a driver. Simple things like media, dietitian, personal trainers, just everything that goes into making us drivers be able to perform, and teams and team managers even. People wanting to do logistics, like a range of places that then the program offers that you can do. But I think if any girls out there going, oh, should I apply, should I not? You need to. Like, you need to just experience it, because I promise you right now, it's just like a drug. It's just addiction. You just want to keep going back because it's a free program. And why not go and experience something with people that are really skilled in what they do, and get advice and be able to network. And you never know, you might pick up a job from it, or you could pick up some sponsorship. There's a lot of networking that goes on. So at the F1, we had a networking session that it went for about an hour to 2 hours, where we had lunch, and we actually got to speak to massive sponsors, for example, like Super Cheap, and just big sponsors that you go, oh, I'd love to have them on board. We were lucky enough to be able to sit down and have a conversation with them. And Renee Winterbottom was there. Lauren Hazelwood was there. There was some big names that you go, that's really cool. Like, I actually got to have a one-on-one conversation. It wasn't planned. It was just you go and introduce yourself, and it's making your name get out there, which a lot of those people I've stayed in touch with now. So it's pretty cool. It's definitely a program that any female in motorsport should definitely look at being a part of, no matter your age. They do younger kids all the way up to adults. So it's a program that's really good to see that's happening in motorsport, because there's not many of us out there, but it's slowly starting to build up through these sort of programs.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like you were saying, like, there's opportunities for all positions in motorsport, and obviously Motorsport Australia always looking for volunteers as well. Even if you've always wanted to be an official, even photographers, I could be wrong, but I think they do that in the program too.
Yeah,
Everything.
100%.
I think there's
Everything right down to first aid people, like literally anything that needs to happen at a racetrack. You could be wanting to be a volunteer for an official, for instance, and they actually have people that are in those jobs that come and do it. So I've done a few talks at those events. Being a driver, there's not many of us girl drivers out there, so I guess it's just cool to see other people wanting to be involved in motorsport. Like the officials, for instance, we wouldn't be racing if it wasn't for them. They're all volunteers. Half them aren't getting paid. So it is a big push for volunteers, in which the program, it literally is a non-profit, I guess you could say, program that wants to just get more people involved. So why not do it for everything in motorsport, not just drivers or engineers? I know two girls that I'm really good friends with through that program that we did at the F1. They've now got full-time jobs in motorsport being photographers, which they're lucky enough to go all around Australia with these teams and get paid to actually do what they love. So it's really good to see.
Yeah, it is 100%. And I've actually got a quick story. So the other day I got I got my logbook checked for my Mazda that I'm going to race this year. And the scrutineer goes to me, I don't know why more people don't sign up. He goes, because I've been asked before. He goes, who gets to go up to Jamie Wincup's car, open the door, have a look, walk out of there like, without getting told to leave or nothing. So it's an awesome opportunity to be a volunteer. There's and like he was saying, you can go to the Grand Prix for nothing. Sometimes they look after you if you're if you're a scrutineer. So there's always positions available at Motorsport Australia, and we encourage people to, even go to your local events if you don't want to go big time. It helps everyone, and as racers, we do appreciate the officials.
100%. Even down to go-karting tracks, I found so many people. My dad, for instance, he just did a scrutineering course just because he could do it when we weren't racing. So just anything really. Like mum used to be a canteen mum. She'd just work in the canteens at the go-kart tracks. Literally anything helps. Any track, whether you're at a go-kart track, motorbike track, anything to do with motorsport, it all helps. And half these people are doing it for nothing just because they love it. So yeah, we are very appreciative of all the efforts that go in.
Yeah, and what advice would you give to younger guys or girls who want to get started out in motorsport?
Give it a go. Don't be scared to push yourself, I think. Everything's always going to be a challenge. I'm always challenging myself to find a new sponsor at least once a week or make those scary meetings. You just have to give it a go. You won't know until you actually do it. I wouldn't ever say to my younger self, you know what, you're going to be a Formula 4 driver in 2 years. I would have never thought that until I just gave it my all. And here we are looking at 2025 options and they're looking even bigger. So just give it a go, I think. Challenge yourself.
I was going to say, are you allowed to share your future plans for next year onwards? And, what are your goals?
I can't give my exact plans because I don't know what budget next year's going to bring me. But my ultimate goals is within the next 2 years, I want to be in a Porsche. Whether that be next year, I'm hoping. I don't know. I want to do the Michelin Sprint Challenge and then move my way up to Carrera or go Super 2 and then get my foot in the door at Supercars. Otherwise, one of my old teammates, Tom Sargent, he was lucky enough to get picked up and go to America. So anything, whether it's Porsche Avenue or going overseas or stay in Australia doing Porsche, Carrera Cup or Supercars are my ultimate goals.
Yeah, those Porsches are quite awesome. And even, with that comes the opportunity to follow the Formula One grid around. They have the International Carrera Cup series, so that looks really cool too. So a lot of opportunities through that, and I wish you the best of luck getting there.
Yeah, 100%. It's a big avenue, but hopefully with the budget that may come, it may help.
Do you have any races that in particular you would like to do overseas?
Not overly. I don't really watch that much overseas to know that I want to go to that track or whatnot. I've just always wanted to race supercars, basically.
Yeah.
And then the Porsche Avenue opened up, so hopefully we can get my foot in the door there and then just see where it all takes me, really.
No, that's it's pretty cool. But with an unlimited budget, what would you say your dream category is or race car?
I think supercars.
Yep.
Just because I've always wanted to do it. Yeah, I really think supercars would be my ultimate dream.
Would you rather win a Bathurst 1000 or a Supercars Championship?
Supercars Championship for sure. It definitely shows your ability, I guess. It's consistency over just one race.
That's actually quite a hot topic. So some people get a bit revved up about that question. So that's a good answer. There's no right or wrong answer though, to be honest. But
I think Bathurst, it just depends on the day. It's up to the man. It's really, you can come first or you can come last, and you could be the best and still come last. It really matters what happens on the day.
Yeah,
you could be winning in qualifying and everything else, and then not win at all. So I think the championship would be more meaningful to me. Just because I would have been able to show how consistent I was for not just one race the whole year.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. It's to win a championship, it does take consistency. You could finish second the whole year and still win a championship. It's nearly been done before, and it's all about consistency. So that's a very good answer. Look, if supercars was an option, are you Ford or Chevy? What's the dream team?
Look, if Holden was still around, definitely Holden. But I'm gonna have to go with Chevy because they're now Holden, I guess you could say. Been born and bred with Holdens all around me, so Dad's got a few collectibles. And then my grandfather also has one of the VK Brockies replicas as well that looks exactly like the race car. So I'd have to definitely go Chevy now, but Holden back when it was Holden.
Yeah, well, you could say that you'd go with Walkinshaw, but they've switched up on Chevy. So
Exactly.
look, is there any sponsors or people you'd like to thank for helping you out? Because you did mention Cameron Hill. So is there any sponsors or people you'd like to thank for helping you along your racing journey?
Look, I have a lot of people that I would love to single out and obviously thank, but I think everyone that's backed me, whether you've been a sponsor, a family member, a friend, teachers from school when I was at school, I think just everyone that's helped me get to where I am. Obviously my go karting team, DR Karts Australia, they did incredible to help me learn the fundamental skills, and then Cam, I wouldn't be where I am now if it wasn't for his phone call and all his support that he gives me. This weekend I'm off to Canberra to the Festival of Speed, which is a massive car show. So if it wasn't for that, Cam got me into that, so I wouldn't be going to that if it wasn't for Cam. Next weekend I've got my own car show in the area. It's just everyone that's around me that's supporting me, whether you're a sponsor or not. I think everyone's support is appreciated no matter what. And yeah, I'm very lucky to have the sponsors I have. They all do everything that they can for me and give me the most that they can give. So I'm very lucky to have their support as well.
Yeah,
And obviously
that's
my dad wouldn't
yeah,
be here without them.
yeah, that's awesome. And look, with the Formula Fords, where and when is the next race meeting for you?
Next race meeting's at Winton on the 16th and 17th of March. That's part of the Victoria State Series, I think, or maybe it's the New South Wales State Series. I can't remember. It's a bit controversial on which one's which, but I think it's a Victoria State. And then our next national round is at Bathurst 6 Hour, which is coming up very soon.
Are you racing or spannering?
I'll be racing the Formula Ford there for our first national round. And then I was meant to have a 6 hour drive, but I have currently a broken wrist. So I thought I'd just do one option rather than put my whole drive at risk for the national championship as well for a supercar. So hopefully with this wrist healing up soon, I can definitely do Bathurst 6 Hour next year.
How'd you break it?
I had a test day at Winton about 4 weeks ago. Just changing gears and the gear didn't go in and it popped back into my hand, and then somehow it broke or fractured my hand. So I don't know. I only found out it was fractured about not even 2 weeks ago after my last race meet. So on the mend at the moment, but it hasn't stopped me.
Fair enough. And where can the viewers find you on social media to follow your progress and keep up with your racing?
Yeah, so I have my own website, which is www.imogenradburn.com. And then my Instagram is just imogen.radburn29. And then Facebook, I also just go under as Imogen Radburn. You can literally just type up my name onto any social media and you'll find me, whether it's LinkedIn, Instagram, all that, as well as my website.
So is 29 your racing number?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was my first KTM bike.
Yep. Okay, I was going to say, is there any significance?
Yeah, it was my first upgrade bike, and it just happened to be 29. And back then, I think I was about 12, so I just got Instagram and I made it Instagram everything, and then it sort of just stuck with me.
Yeah, the 12-year-old Instagram accounts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Thanks so much for jumping on tonight, Imogen. It was great chatting to you, and we wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it, and we'll keep in touch.
We will. And to anyone else who's racing this weekend, obviously remember, drive fast and take chances safely, of course.